Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be taking a ride on the Windhorse Mini. Now this video really isn't going to be about like a review of this 16-inch e-bike, but I do want to kind of show you the fact that it is small because I bought it for my son who's 11. And so it's really made for anyone who's 4'9" to 5'9". I'm 6'1" and I weigh 185 pounds. And my backpack over there is going to be an additional 20 pounds because the real reason for this is I want to see if I can ride this thing 11 to 12 miles on throttle only, because this bike, for me, it's not really, it's not comfortable to pedal because it's so small. But I'm going to do it on e-throttle the whole time. It's a class 2 bike, so it's going to be kept at 20 miles an hour. Like I said, I'm going to ride it about 11 or 12 miles. And then in my backpack over there, I have some stuff that hopefully I can use to charge it back up with solar if I need to be able to get back home. So let's go ahead and go. Yeah, so as you can see, this is going to be it says 56-minute ride. I don't know how fast they think I'm going to be going, but I'm going to be going about 20 miles an hour the whole time. And it's going to be 12 miles, so I'm guessing it's going to take about 40 minutes rather than 56. But you can see I'm going to be stopping at a boat launch at Evergreen Lake. So let me go ahead and hit start. Okay, the first thing that I really like about this bike is, well, first of all, hopefully you can hear me because I'm going 20 miles an hour. But what I really like about it is the fact that it has cruise control. See, my hand's not even on the throttle. I'm not pedaling. And it's just running at 19.6 miles an hour. So it's very comfortable to ride. Along with the 4-inch fat tires and the full suspension, it's just a smooth ride. And then the seat is, it's kind of like one of those like e-moto seats. So it's very fat and comfortable. So you don't get saddle sore nearly as much. All right, I am cruising right at about 20 miles an hour, and that is the limit for a class 2 e-bike, and that's what's basically legal, at least in my state. There are separate classes. There's class 1, 2, and 3, and it really depends on what your bike can do to know what kind of class you're in. So for instance, class 1 is an e-bike that can be used as pedal assist only without a throttle that can go up to 20 miles an hour. Class 2 is when your bike has a throttle and it can use pedal assist and the max speed is 20 miles an hour. And then you have class 3 e-bike, which is a bike that can be, that has a throttle that can go up to 20, but if you use pedal assist, it can go up to 28 miles an hour. Now anything after that is considered an electronic or a battery operated motorcycle. And that is when you need to have it registered with a license plate, you need to have insurance, and you need to have a driver's license or a motorcycle's license depending on how fast it can really go. So you really need to be careful about what kind of e-bike you get because it might not be considered a bike at all. It could be considered a motorized motorcycle or a battery operated motorcycle. And I gotta say, riding this e-bike, and like I said, this e-bike is from Windhorse. I think it's called the M8. And it is, it's actually a joy to ride. It's a lot of fun. If you're not, if you're not super physical in your life, you can ride one of these because you'll still get the pedal action if you want. And the motor will just assist you in riding along. And that is really nice for people that might be, either older or like just have bad knees or hips. You can still be able to ride a bike and enjoy, the scenery, kind of like what I have going on right now with the corn on one side, the beans on the other. You know, I think they're aesthetically pleasing. Most people don't, but you can see the windmills back to the far right. I think they're beautiful. All right, well, this road is the one I'm going to be on for the next 5 miles. And it's a lot busier than I thought it would be, but I think everyone is going to this church right in front of me. So I think once I get past this church, hopefully I won't notice much traffic. But let's go ahead and get going after this minivan right here, or this SUV. All right, we just passed the church. Our cruise control is back on. We got our windmills going. And so let's just cruise for the next 4.8 miles. See, just look how peaceful it is out here. Yeah, after I pass that church, there's no one anywhere. All I have are my windmills, my corn, my beans, and my wildflowers. Oh, and that skunk smell. Gee whiz. Okay, well, it's not all roses out here, but I mean, you can't really beat how beautiful this is. I mean, the Illinois countryside, you know, in my mind, it's just beautiful. And the way that all of the windmills are facing, it looks like I'm going with the wind. So it'll be interesting to see how much battery power I have to use on the way back. That might be kind of bad. But in my 20-pound backpack I have a power station and a solar blanket that is rated at 100 watts. So I'm hoping that I can make this ride. And if I have, like, you know, 3 bars left or something like that, I can plug into the power station, be able to charge it up to at least 4 bars, if not 5, and be able to get back with no problem whatsoever, and seriously be able to make a 24-mile round trip on an e-bike. You know, and they say that this e-bike is rated for 35 to 50 miles on just throttle alone, but that is in, like, you know, laboratory conditions. It's not ups and downs on these roads. It's not wind at your face. You know, it's not a 185-pound person with a 20-pound backpack on. So there's a lot of variables that will reduce that mileage. But if I got 24 miles, I would be super happy. I went ahead and took off cruise control, and I'm just letting the bike kind of glide down the hill. But so far, on any hill that I've ridden on, this bike has not gone below 19 miles an hour. So this 750 watt motor that runs this bike, it's plenty of power for a 200-pound individual. But let's see how it does on these hills. As you can see, we're starting to get to the lake. Our cruise control is back on. And you can see I'm not holding anything. We're going up this hill. Let's see how it does. Right at 19 miles an hour, but again, plenty of power to get up that hill with no problem whatsoever. Yep, and we got about 1 more mile until the boat launch, so I will see you then. All right, well, we made it to the Rock Road boat launch. If we look at our distance, you can see that it is 12.6 miles is the distance that we went. And we still have 4 out of 5 bars. All right, now that we're here and we're at the picnic area, I'm gonna go ahead and set up my power station and my solar panel to be able to take the battery off of this bike and just set it out in a sunny area where the battery and the power station will be shaded. And so I can just get free energy from the sun to charge this Windhorse back up. And what I'm going to be using is the Bluetti EB3A because it's literally the smallest power station I could find. And this does have a 268 watt-hour battery inside, which is a lot smaller than the Windhorse. So that's why I brought this, this solar blanket. It's a 100-watt solar blanket from All Powers. You know, and I don't even know if All Powers makes these anymore, but I'm sure you can find solar blankets, you know, pretty much anywhere. So let's go ahead and set it up. We're going to take the battery off of the bike because with these bikes, just because it doesn't have the battery, it's still a bike. So you can ride it around if you wanted. All right, well, I got my Windhorse battery off and I brought the charger with me as well because you'll definitely need that. I got my EB3A. Here is the AC cord for the charger and here is my solar blanket. Now this charger, it's only a 54.6 volt 2 amp charger. So that will charge at about 109 watts. Now with the inefficiencies of the Bluetti, it's actually probably going to be pulling about 125 watts from the unit itself. And so I could expect to basically get about 2 hours of charge from this without this solar panel. Hopefully with the solar panel, I won't completely deplete the battery in the next 2 hours. So let's go ahead and get it all set up. First, I'm going to go ahead and just plug in the battery, turn on my EB3A. I did charge it up to 100% last night, so it should be fully charged. There's a green light on the plug, so let's go ahead and just plug it in. Oh, I'm sorry, a green light on the charger. So we're gonna go ahead and just plug it in. All right, and we went ahead and pulled up the app for the EB3A here, and it looks like it's actually pulling 179 watts. So that's a lot more than I thought it was going to. I don't know if it's gonna stay at 179 watts, but that's more reason to get this solar panel out into that sun over there. And honestly, I've never tried this solar panel along with the EB3A. I'm just assuming it's going to work. If it doesn't, then we're getting 2 hours of charge and that's it. We're gonna use the 8mm adapter that came with it. And this cord is not as long as I was hoping, so let's go ahead and move the EB3A over. Plug it in, and hopefully we start seeing some solar input. There we go, and look at that. 12 watts, 19 watts, 24. So it's starting to go up. You gotta realize also that it's only 9:30 in the morning, so we're not gonna be getting premium sun, input, solar input. But 24 watts is better than nothing. I'm hoping it gets more as the time goes on. So while we got the battery charging over here, let me tell you a little bit more about this Windhorse bike. All right, when we received this bike, we did have to put it together a little bit, and it was something that took about an hour. No big deal whatsoever. We had to put the front tire on. We had to put the front fender on. We also had to put the headlight on, which is right here. And we had to put the seat on. And and the pedals. And we had to put the pedals on. And that was it. And it came with all the tools that you need to put all that stuff on. So you don't need any tools whatsoever when putting this bike together. Like I said on the way here, it does have dual suspension. here and here. That makes for a nice smooth ride along with the big 4-inch fat tires. And this big cushiony seat. The ride here was actually very comfortable, even though it was about a 40-minute ride. And it's a 16-inch bike, so this bike is too big for me. If I was actually to buy one for myself, it would be at least a 20-inch tire size. And I would honestly, for me, since I would be doing a lot of commuting, I would buy a bike that had some sort of rack or basket. That way I could carry more stuff instead of having a giant backpack. The battery that slides right in here and locks into place, it is a 48 volt, 15.6 amp hour battery. And so if you multiply 48 times 15.6, you get a little bit under 750 watt hours. The nominal voltage is probably a little bit higher than that. So yeah, I would just say a 750 watt hour battery. And so that EB3A will only be able to charge it up about a third of the way. And that's why I brought that solar panel. Some other things about this e-bike is it does come with a full LCD screen, which will tell you the speedometer, the odometer, and the voltage of the battery at that time, along with the trip odometer. It does have 7 speeds, and so it does have a Shimano derailleur right there. It also comes with a headlight button, turn signals right here, and the horn, which is right here. And then your pedal assist speeds are right here and here they go up to 3, from 0 to 3. 0 is basically you're just riding a bike. 1 goes up to about 7 miles an hour. 2 goes up to about 15 miles an hour. And 3 goes up to 20 miles an hour. And then the M, you hold that down and it turns the bike on and off, along with shifting the modes in the computer itself. Right back here is your tail light. Then it does have little turn signals right here and here. They are almost kind of gimmicky because they are so small. And there are no turn signals on the front. And right behind that, this thing, that's actually a Bluetooth speaker. If we look at the front, it does have front and back brakes, along with pretty much all the wiring, and it came with this Windhorse like wire harness and a big fat headlight, which is adjustable, and this thing actually works well. I've ridden it in the dark, and it shines a nice spread of light throughout wherever you're riding. When it comes to the brakes, they are those disc brakes right there, but I think they're like manual. They're not hydraulic disc brakes by any means. And both the tires have reflectors, so it has all the normal items that you would expect on a regular bike. This right here is a phone mount, and this did not come with the bike at all. I purchased that, so I'll put a link in the description for this, along with the bike. All right, well, now that I'm here, I'm gonna go ahead and get a snack, drink some of my water back here, and, just while enjoying this very peaceful park atmosphere. It's just beautiful out here. You can hear nature. I'm not getting bit by bugs right now, which is great. And the skies are nice and blue. So for the time being, I am just gonna enjoy it. Okay, well, it is now 10:30 in the morning, and let's go ahead and pull up the screen for the Bluetti. You can see that the Windhorse battery pack is still pulling 186 watts from the AC plug right there. Even though the solar blanket is in full sun, and it is, it's a little hazy, but we have good sun. We're only pulling in 35 watts still, which is actually disappointing. I'm disappointed by that. We're down to 47% on our battery, and like I said, I think it's only been about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes since I started this. So our battery is going to be done easily by 11:30. I will try to adjust this solar blanket a little bit maybe, but there's not really anywhere else I can put it. Since it's a blanket, you can't stand it up on anything. I might be able to angle some of the panels up a little bit, so it might get, we might be able to get 40 or 45 watts out of it, but again, I'm kind of disappointed with it. All right, well, it is almost 11:10. It's 11:09, and you can see that our solar blanket is still in pretty good sun, along with the solar, the EB3A. Our battery is still sitting in the shade, and I feel like that's most important. We can look at the app, and you can see that we are still drawing 191 watts from the EB3A to the battery. And we're only getting 40 watts from that solar blanket, which is unfortunate. It's probably because it's laying flat on the ground, but if you look at the sky, we got a little bit of a haze, but there's no solid clouds anywhere. So I feel a little disappointed by the amount of wattage I'm getting from this panel. Another thing is, if we look at our weather, you can see that there is a little bit of weather coming in. It's just entering Illinois right now. So it took about 40 to 45 minutes to get here, and I want to make sure and beat that, because this bike is really by no means waterproof. It might be a little water resistant. I don't know the IP rating of it, but I don't want to get it wet at all. So I'm going to head back before it even thinks about starting to rain. So I'm going to go ahead and put the battery back on the bike, pack everything up, and get going. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me at all, but this headwind is a lot more fierce than it was on the way to the lake. It is, it's probably going to drain my battery a little bit more than it was on the way there. So I'm actually happy I took that power station. It just gave me that little bit more juice, in that hour and a half that I charged it. This is the first e-bike I've ever ridden, and I gotta say, this cruise control, it is next level. It makes it so you don't have to hold the throttle down the whole time, and it just makes for a really comfy ride. And honestly, I just want to show you how beautiful it is out here. You just can't really beat the Midwest. All right, well, I am back home, and I think the distance back home was about 13.4 miles because I took a slightly different route. And some of the things I came away with were the fact that the Windhorse is on 3 out of 5 bars right now. So I believe I could have made it all the way there and all the way back without using a solar power station at all. It would have been close, but still, that would have been what? That would have been 20, that would have been about 25 miles, roughly, something like that, 25, 27 miles on only throttle. So I'm pretty impressed with that. The applications that you could use that for, if you have an e-bike, not quite like this, but something with a basket or something like that, I mean, you could easily go 10 miles into town to a store, pick up a few items and come back, and then just charge it back up using a small power station like this with a little bit more solar attached to it. And you wouldn't be spending a dime on fuel or anything like that. Another thing I gotta say about this Windhorse was that the ride was comfortable. The suspension was good. The big padded seat was nice and comfy. And these big 4-inch tires make it so everything is very soft when you hit those bumps or anything like that. You don't really feel them, you just kind of smooth right over them. The idea of taking a power station with you along with a 100-watt solar blanket, I don't recommend it. Not with a bike like this, because it doesn't have, you have to carry everything with you. And having that 20 pounds of extra baggage on my back was probably the most uncomfortable part about this ride. You would need a lot more watt-hour capacity to be able to actually charge this bike up from 0 to full. And this bike takes like 6 to 7 hours to charge from 0 to full. So you would have to stop somewhere and let it charge for hours before you could ride it again for a substantial distance. So this experiment with taking solar with me, I kind of give it a fail, unfortunately. But was it fun? Yes, it was. So if you have any questions about why or what I did during this video, please go ahead and leave them in the comments. I'll go ahead and leave a link for the Windhorse, the EB3A, and if I can find it, the All Powers solar blanket, just in case you want to look further into them. Thanks again for watching this video, and have a great day. Bye-bye.